One skill I wish I would have had looking back is better interpersonal skills. I didn't realize how easy it was to reach out to my professors and how willing they were to hold out a hand and help me up to the next level. By and large, uh, academics are there not because of an ulterior motive, but generally because this is what they love to do, and they would love to help others who share the same passion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Career Services Presents Inside the Industry Professor Spotlight. Today we have Dr. Miguel Balboa, College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Balboa, do you mind introducing yourself and the classes that you teach?
Hi, my name is Miguel Balboa. I'm a professor in philosophy, and I teach critical thinking and world religions here at Columbia Southern University.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and what led up to you becoming a professor?
I actually went to school way back in the day to become a lawyer, and I took my first philosophy class, and it was just kind of love at first sight. I decided that's what I wanted to do, and I pursued it, and I've been teaching philosophy since the late 90s, and it's something that I really enjoy, and I like to think of myself as an ambassador for philosophy to all my students so that they come away with a liking of it, or at least an appreciation of it.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so, what would you say are some special skills that our students and alumni should possess if they wanted to get into that kind of industry that you're in, into teaching or, get into work in philosophy?
Well, passion is, of course, important. It's your motivation because it's going to sustain you through the sorts of dips that you'll get where you find topics that may not be as exciting to you down the road. Nevertheless, they're required in order to pursue your ultimate goals. So finding something that you like that makes you want to wake up and do it every day is very important. The skills are basically the ability to be a bit tenacious about things and keep working at it even if it doesn't go well. One skill I wish I would have had looking back is better interpersonal skills. I didn't realize how easy it was to reach out to my professors and how willing they were to hold out a hand and help me up to the next level. By and large, academics are there not because of an ulterior motive, but generally because this is what they love to do, and they would love to help others who share the same passion.
And you kind of touched on this a bit already, but did you always see yourself working in this industry, or kind of where did you think you would start out at when you first got started with school and your career path?
Well, I got out of high school and I kind of had a vague idea that I wanted to become an attorney. I also thought I might want to join the Marines, but my best friend and my brother, who were both in the military, talked me out of it. And I said, why? And they said, that's precisely why, Miguel, because you question everything and that's not going to go over well. But questioning is precisely what philosophy is about. So I did find something that really fits me and really suits me. And I didn't imagine myself teaching it. I actually moved to pursue a degree in writing. But along the way, I just found myself taking philosophy courses, and I said, well, I guess there's no hope for it. Let's just dive in.
So it sounds like your brother and your friend kind of mentored you a little bit into talking you out of the military. Did you and do you currently have mentors who have helped you professionally, you would say?
Absolutely. When you get to be my age, it's often not mentors, but I look for what we call affinity groups. And ironically, my mentors are the younger generation, the academics just getting into it, because they're more up on the literature. My articles that I use for research are decades old, And even though philosophy is a perennial discipline, the questions don't morph that much over the centuries. You do need to freshen things up. And so my best mentors are the younger teachers, but also my students, because they let me know what issues they're interested in. And I firmly believe the tools of philosophy are perfectly general, like the tools of math, and they can help you with your everyday life in very significant ways. So I listen to my students and I see where they're coming from and try to present them with the best tool set from philosophy.
That's awesome. And in your career path, what would you say was the most challenging part that led up to where you are today? Any, barriers or roadblocks, or just, tough moments where you weren't quite sure if you were on the right path? What would you say is the most challenging part?
I think the moments I stepped away from philosophy and tried to become something other than what I was. I've dabbled in quite a few things, from computer programming, database programming, and website design. I lived in San Francisco, and I did this throughout the 90s and early 2000s. And it was a summer job because teaching affords you the ability to have a summer job. And I enjoyed it, and the money was very compelling, but I didn't get that fire or that drive to get up every day and do it. So it was not, those were the hardest challenges for me, was trying to just determine that, look, can I be happy with this lifestyle even though I won't be the wealthiest person in the world? And at the end of my considerations, I've decided, yes, as long as I am able to have some home security and food security and provide for my family or contribute to my family in these means, then by all means, this is a worthy lifestyle.
And I guess touching on another little tidbit here, what would you give to students as like a piece of advice to someone who wants to go into philosophy? I know you mentioned that it might not be the most lucrative field to go into, and mention passion, but what is a lasting piece of advice that you would give to someone who's still interested in that industry?
Well, I look at philosophy as being part of teaching, and it's one of those things, like the military we mentioned, where there's a mission, and you need to be able to make enough to sustain your mission. And so that's important. You do have to get the nuts and bolts of your life ready in terms of finances, but once you've done so, follow your calling and pursue it with vigor, because I do believe it makes a difference. And there is something meaningful about touching somebody and realizing that maybe you made their life a little bit better. It's tougher as a teacher because you don't see immediate results. Sometimes Facebook's been very nice for that. You get messages 10 years down the road, people dropping in on you and telling you how much they enjoyed your courses. But those are the kinds of things. If you follow your passion and you try to leave the world a little bit better than the way you found it, I think that's a pretty good recipe for most people.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time to interview today and to answer a few questions so students and alumni can get to know you a little bit better and learn some, things that can help them as they're pursuing their degrees with us. So we thank you so much, and thank you for your contributions to Columbia Southern as a professor.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chastity. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.